I always thought loyalty was my best trait. Turns out, it was the easiest one to exploit. My name is Tyler Gray. I'm 29, and for the past 10 years, I've supported my family. Not in the emotional sense, no, I mean financially. I paid my parents' mortgage, covered my younger brother's tuition, and handled every last emergency like I was some kind of human insurance policy. All while building a name for myself in Los Angeles as a digital marketing consultant. I had clients around the globe and a steady six-figure income, and none of it was ever enough. It started with a simple call one Tuesday morning. Ty, the internet's out again. Can you send over the payment for this month? My mother. Always warm. Always soft-spoken. It didn't matter that I'd already paid their utilities twice that month. I took a deep breath and said yes, again. But the real story began when I got a DM on Instagram from a girl I didn't recognize. Hey, I hope this isn't weird, but your mom posted a video about you on Facebook. Might want to check it. That was the first crack. I opened the link. There it was. My mom, sitting with my dad, laughing. I recognized the background, their dining room. The same one I'd bought them furniture for. My younger brother Caleb was filming. Honestly, Dad said, chuckling, I still don't get why people pay him to run ads online. Marketing? Please. He makes silly graphics and writes emails. Mom giggled. As long as the money keeps coming, let him think he's a big shot. Man thinks he's Jeff Bezos, Caleb chimed in. The video cut there. Posted publicly. 18,000 views. Caption. Family roast night, love ya, Ty. I stared at the screen, my face hot, pulse thumping. I hadn't just been mocked, I'd been dehumanized. Publicly. By the very people whose lives I'd spent years holding together. I didn't call. I didn't yell. I didn't reply. I opened my bank account. There it was. The shared family emergency fund I'd built. $612,000. All mine. I transferred it to a new private account. Then, I blocked their numbers. 2 days later, the chaos began. Caleb texted, Dude, chill. It was just a joke. Don't be so dramatic. My dad emailed, You're being ridiculous. Families tease each other. That's love. Mom left a voicemail. Her voice shaking. I don't understand why you're doing this to us, Tyler. Then came the guilt, the shame, the manipulation. I stayed silent until the letter, a handwritten note, delivered to my apartment. You may have made your money, Tyler, but remember who raised you, who taught you to walk. Don't throw your family away just because your feelings got hurt. Love, Mom. That was the trigger. Because they hadn't taught me to walk. My Aunt Evelyn had. They hadn't been there when I broke my arm at 14, or when I got my college acceptance letter, or when I launched my first campaign. They'd only shown up when the money did. So I wrote back. You didn't raise me. You used me. Consider this my resignation from the role of family ATM. Tyler, I mailed it. Certified delivery. Then I went live. Not to name names, not to start drama, just to talk. Hey guys, tonight's stream is a bit different. I want to talk about boundaries, about self-respect, about knowing when enough is enough. Thousands of messages poured in. Some from strangers, some from clients, some from fellow creators, and one, surprisingly, from Caleb. I didn't get it before. I was jealous. You worked for everything, and we just took. I'm sorry. I didn't answer. Not yet, because this story isn't done. The following weeks were eerily quiet. No angry knocks on the door. No desperate voicemails. No sudden emails begging for mercy. Just silence. A thick, unspoken truce wrapped in bitterness. I'd thought the absence would feel freeing, but it felt strange instead. Like a familiar background noise had been suddenly cut, leaving only the hum of my new life. I doubled down on work. My viewership grew. I signed a new sponsorship deal with a major tech brand and launched a charity stream that raised over $100,000 in 48 hours. My chat lit up with support, love, respect. Everything my family never gave me. The irony wasn't lost on me. Then one day, Kelly messaged me again, not through a guilt-laced email or a text begging for tuition, but an actual letter. "Henry," it began, "I know I don't deserve a response. I know what I did was cruel and selfish. But I want you to know that I've been thinking about it every day. About how we laughed at you, how we used you, and how much I've contributed to that. I was jealous. You made something incredible out of nothing, and I didn't understand it. I wanted Dad to be proud of me too, and I threw you under the bus to feel seen. I'm so sorry. If you ever want to talk, just talk, not ask for anything. I'll be here." I read the letter 3 times. For the first time since everything blew up, I felt something different, like someone in that house finally saw me. Not my money, not my platform, me. I didn't write back. Not yet. But I didn't throw the letter away either. 2 weeks later, I received another letter, this one from my mother. Shorter, stiffer. "Henry, I know we said things that hurt you, but this is your family. Please don't throw us away. Things are not the same without you. Love, Mom." She didn't apologize. She didn't take responsibility. She just wanted things back the way they were, without changing anything. That was the difference between her and Kelly. I went live that night and opened up to my audience. Not about the details, but the feelings. The betrayal. The wounds. The slow healing. The chat exploded with messages. "You did the right thing. Proud of you, man. Blood isn't always thicker." And they were right. About a month later, I ran into someone unexpected. My Uncle James. He was my mom's younger brother, the family outcast. I hadn't seen him since I was a teenager, but he recognized me instantly. We talked over coffee, and he told me something that stuck. "You're not crazy. You're just the first one who said enough's enough. Your mom did the same thing to me when I stopped paying her bills. She'll never admit it, but she respects you now. She just doesn't know how to say it without making herself the victim." It was the weirdest compliment I'd ever received. But it made sense. One quiet Sunday afternoon, as I was setting up for a charity stream, another package arrived. Inside, a photo album. Old pictures of me and Kelly as kids. My birthdays. My graduation. My dad holding me up in the air, laughing. There was no note, just the photos. I stared at them for a long time. Then I closed the album. Because those memories, they were real. But so was everything that came after. I could honor the past without reopening the door. This was my boundary. This was my peace. Spring came faster than I expected. The city thawed, the air smelled like fresh rain, and I found myself smiling more than I had in years. I wasn't pretending anymore. My mornings weren't filled with dread or financial anxiety, and I wasn't checking my phone in fear of another guilt-laced message. I was healing, and with healing came growth. I expanded my content, launched a side channel, even started mentoring smaller creators. For the first time, I saw what I'd built not just as survival, but as legacy. Then, about 2 months after the last letter, I got a DM. It was from Kelly. Just 3 words. "Can we talk?" I stared at it for a long time. The old instincts, anger, wariness, that coiled reflex to protect myself, rose instantly. But something else pushed through. Curiosity. I said yes. We met at a small cafe halfway between our places. I picked it intentionally. Neutral. No memories. When I walked in, I almost didn't recognize her. Kelly looked tired, like someone who'd aged 5 years in one. But her smile was real. "Thanks for coming. she said. Let's see how it goes, I replied, sitting down. We talked for over an hour. She didn't ask for anything. No tuition, no rent. She told me she was working full-time now, that she'd moved out of our parents' house, that she'd started therapy. I listened. When I asked her why reach out, she hesitated before answering. Because I finally get it, what it felt like, to be used, and because I miss my brother, not his money, just him. I didn't say much. I didn't need to. The weight of her words did the heavy lifting. As we parted ways, she hugged me. Tentative. Honest. Whatever happens, she whispered, I'm proud of you. I'm sorry it took losing you to see it. I walked back to my car and sat behind the wheel for a long time, staring at the dashboard. Was it reconciliation? Not yet. But it was the beginning of something healthier. The next evening, I went live. Chat noticed immediately. You look lighter. Something good happen? And yeah, it did. But the biggest shift wasn't in Kelly. It was in me. I no longer craved their approval. I didn't need an apology to validate my boundaries. I'd learned to love without losing myself in the process. Weeks passed. Kelly sent memes sometimes, small updates, her new job, a funny story about our childhood. It was easy, low stakes, honest. Then, on a random Tuesday afternoon, I got a letter. This one was in my dad's handwriting. I hadn't seen it in over a year. Henry, I know I messed up. I didn't just fail you as a father. I failed myself as a man. I let pride make me cruel. I let tradition blind me to what you were really doing. You weren't playing games. You were building a future, one better than I ever gave you. I don't expect forgiveness, but I needed you to know that. No excuses, just truth. Love, Dad. I read it once, then twice. And for the first time, I cried. Not because it hurt, but because someone who'd never been capable of softness finally chose it. I didn't respond to my dad's letter right away. I let it sit. Somewhere between the reminder on my desk and the ache it reopened, I found something I hadn't expected. Understanding. Because healing isn't always a straight line. Sometimes it loops. Sometimes it pauses. And sometimes it quietly invites you to reconsider the walls you built. A week later, I wrote back. Short. Honest. Dad, thank you for your letter. I needed to hear that more than I realized. I'm still figuring things out, but I appreciate you finally seeing me. Not just for what I do, but for who I am. I hope we can keep building from here. Henry. I mailed it with no expectations. 2 days later, he called. And this time, I answered. He didn't cry. I didn't either. But we talked. Like two people trying to meet each other halfway across years of damage. He told me about how quiet the house had become, how Kelly's absence changed everything, how he started walking in the mornings and stopped pretending he wasn't retired. I used to think purpose had to come from a paycheck, he admitted. But you built purpose from passion. That's brave, son. I wish I'd done the same. I didn't expect the softness in his voice. It undid something. We hung up after 40 minutes. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. Later that night, as I looked through my old stream clips, I found one from years ago. Me, stumbling through my first sponsored read, nervous and excited. In the background, a chat message scrolled by. You're gonna make it, Henry. Keep going. That username? DadGreg87. I blinked. I'd never noticed it before, and in that moment, I knew. Maybe part of him always believed in me. He just didn't know how to show it. The next time Kelly invited me to lunch, I brought the letter. She read it quietly, eyes shimmering. I didn't think he was capable of that. Me neither, I said. But maybe we all had some growing up to do. We toasted with our coffees. To new boundaries, to old wounds, to second chances, because some families break apart and stay broken, but others crack just enough to let the light in. And maybe, just maybe, ours was becoming one of those.